Alright guys, so we're going to go over how to do a wire change in the Pitts brackets. And what you want to do is make sure that it's kind of pre-cut. So go ahead and open up for me just a little bit. And so kind of line it up with the front of the mouth. Those three little lines are on the wire. Kind of see that you center the midline of the wire, the midline of the teeth, in between the two centrals. And so, I know it's a little bit long. So I'm going to go ahead and open up for me just a little bit. Have you open for me a little bit there. What I do is just kind of check and see how long it is and do a preliminary cut. I grab back there and then I'll grab it, cut it, and remeasure like that. This side on the left is pretty long still, so I'm going to grab a little bit of wire there, like that. Thank you. So then we line up the wire again, kind of chill like that, and we go through and measure on the mouth again. Still pretty long, but not as long. I don't know if you can see. Yeah, so it's overlaid the brackets before we insert it. So go through and re-cut it. And I grab the wire a little bit and then I scooch the plier up until I make contact with the bracket and then I cut. That way it's pretty dang flush. I won't have to do any kind of cutting in the mouth. Do the same thing on the other side, if we can look on the left side here. So in there like that. You can see I'm going to grab the wire a little bit with my pliers, my cutters. Gently scooch up, hold the wire with your fingers, and then kind of mark or kind of grab the wire without cutting it, pull it out of the mouth. And you can kind of scooch back or scooch forward a little bit. Just make sure it's totally flush and inside the bracket. So I go through and pull the plier up and then cut. Now it's pretty good to insert. I'll line it up in the tubes of the 6s or the first molars first. Kind of work it in. Now the Pitts brackets, the brackets are really tight. Not a lot of extra room to kind of wiggle the wire in. So if it doesn't go in, you got to angle. It's like putting a square peg into a square hole. It's got to line up pretty good. If you come in at an angle like that, it won't insert. So you got to twist the wire like that. Okay, right there. So then I take the Winegard and I kind of just make sure that it's angled a little bit. So I grab the wire and pinch it and kind of twist the wire a little bit so it goes in like that. Now it's going in nice and smooth like that. Do the same thing on the 7 here. Good. Just like that. You might see a little bit of a tug. And then you start to see the wire come out the back like that. Right in there. Do the same thing over here. So I'm going to squeeze up here real quick. And you kind of want to push. You want to make sure the little doors on the 4s and the 5s are open. Because if they're closed, it'll get in the way of putting the wire in. So you just kind of scooch the wire in there. And I kind of grab like this for the 7. And make sure it's in there like that. Now, as you look in the front, the wire starts to kind of bend out of the brackets of the slots. So you want to make sure before you spend all that time inserting the wire in the 7 that this is lined up. Otherwise, you got to undo it. So let's go back to the 7s now and finish inserting. And you can tell you're fully inserted when the bracket is like right inside the bracket slot, or the wire is in the bracket slot. So we got right here. Good. It's pretty tight right there. I'll have you turn to your right for me just a little bit. Pretty tight right there. So That tooth right there is pretty darn tight. So what we'll probably do is take the door out. Oh, there we go, got it. So once that's all done, so the midline's almost there. I'm gonna kind of push the wire in that way a little bit more. A little pressure there. There we go. Now I'm gonna go through and insert, or make sure the doors can be closed. So I push the wire in, close the door. Same thing. So right over here, on the right side, the door's kind of closed on me a little bit. So I'll make sure that's all inserted. It's gonna be a little tight here. It's a big wire, but it's all safe there to get the teeth are a little mobile, and that's normal. As we're moving the teeth around, the bone sockets will enlarge. Turn to your left for me a little bit. And the tooth becomes a little more wiggly, but that's normal during treatment. Okay. Cool, that's it. You can stop the video.